friends, stampers, crafters. Hold on, I'm trying to get my computer to come up. Okay. I'm in the middle of a one-sheet wonder, and this is part 2. Today we're going to use the Lovely Blossoms Suite and the embossing folder, the dots, and then we're also going to use Fragrant Layers, which is also on the online exclusive. We're going to use the little hello stamp that's in this set. This is the page that we're going to use. I've already cut it apart in part 1 video. So if you need to see that, look for my first video on this series. Today we're putting together this row of pieces from the designer paper. The first video we did the first 3 large panels, and then this is our middle, and my third video will be using the 2-inch squares. There's 3 sheets of that in the package of designer paper. There's 12 sheets, and there's 3 of each design, 3 sheets. And you will find a project sheet on my blog at franklystamping.com. Those are not up yet, but probably will be by maybe tomorrow or Wednesday, depending. And it will give you all of the measurements, instructions, putting it together. The supply list is in project, the One Sheet Wonder project sheet part 1. Part 1 has the whole list of supplies that I used. And just because you don't have this stamp set, look in your stash and see, do I have a small, stamp that'll work for your greeting? You don't have to use the same greetings that I'm using. I'm just using these because these are in the stamp sets that I'm using. We're going to use the Lovely Stripes embossing folder, which I love. You get dots and lines. And then Beautiful Pattern. We also use this new embossing folder, Beautiful Pattern, and these are 3D embossing folders. So if you use these, you need to use your black, gray specialty 3D specialty embossing panel with it instead of your clear plate. And we're also using this stamp set. I swear I've got hair sticking everywhere. Lovely Arrangements. We're using Just a Note, and then we can use some of the flowers to stamp the insides. I don't remember what else we used. What did I use on this last card? Oh, we used, and then on the Fragrant Layers, we used the little hello, and we could have used Just a Note on this stamp set, but I liked the little thin one from the Lovely Arrangements suite that I'm trying to showcase here. But I did pull in a couple extra. And then we're also using this little die that is on that. And you don't need to use that. You can just stamp your sentiments on a piece of white cardstock and cut it out and angle the ends or V the ends. Lots of different ways to do it. You don't necessarily have to do it exactly like I'm doing it. Okay, the first card we're going to make this card. And I have done the embossing ahead of time just to speed this along. So we're using Crumb Cake for our card base. We're using the Beautiful Pattern 3D embossing folder. I don't know if you can see the design on it. And And we could use either side. If we wanted it to not, you know, not stick up, we could use the back side. In fact, since I used the embossed side on the other one, I'll use the debossed side on this one just to make it a little bit different. And when I'm wrapping ribbon around a layer, I like, this is designer paper, so it's not as thick. So I'm going to attach just a small piece out of my scraps of cardstock to put behind this, just so it gives it a little bit of stability for when I put my dimensionals and my ribbon around it. Now you could have even cut just a little bit larger piece of the crumb cake and made it a tiny border around there, if you like that, instead of using just the white. But I'm just using it as a, like I said, stability. And I did not stamp the inside of my card this time because it just says hello, and I don't know what I want that to be. I don't know if I want it to be a birthday or a, you know, congratulations, or hey, I'm thinking about you, or get well soon. So I'm leaving that blank until, and this glue is not, I'll use my little thin, I love these. I got these on Amazon, and they are just great when you have to get glue into a small, you know, small areas. It's great. I just don't like the sound of the metal, you know, scratching on it. That's the only thing I don't like about it. And I'm going to put the lid right back on so it stays. They don't clog up very easy on me either. Now, if you say, oh, I could never stamp it when it's already glued to the inside of my card, you can always cut a panel and put over the top if you mess it up, or, you know, if it's not straight or something. And we could decorate this with any one of the stamps from the stamp set, which let's do that. Let's just put a flower on here, but I'm not going to put a greeting. Like I said, I don't know what I want the card to be. So I'm just going to pull out my, when I'm die cutting, I cut extra pieces that I can, you know, I don't just put one thing through my die cut at a time. I make extra pieces, so I have extra ephemera. I make my own ephemera by just cutting extra dies and labels, etc. Now let's just stamp this real quick with our Secret C, if I can find my ink pad back. So we'll just stamp this flower down here in the corner. It's pretty. And let me wipe this off. Okay. With my chamois. Okay, so this is done. And I'm going to go ahead, while I have my ink pad open, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go and fold this real quick. Lay that aside for a second. And where is my little hello? Well, I must have dropped it, but I have some others cut. So like I said, I always cut a little bit of extra, and I have an extra one cut, so I can just pull this out of here. This is out of the Spotlight on Nature dies, and I just love those. So let's stamp that really quick with our hello, which I've already pulled out. Pull it down here where I can see it. Don't rock your stamp. Straight up, straight down. And see, I had extra ink, but if you go straight up, straight down, you should not have any problem with picking up extra ink. So that's clean, and we can set this aside. We'll close our stamp pad because we don't need it yet for our next card. Okay, now we're going to take our embossed panel and we're going to glue it on. you need to get glue to an edge, just drag it down, drag it down. Don't get too close so it doesn't squish out, but just drag it down. And I usually put a little dab in the middle. And we're going to put this with the debossed side up. And I cut this panel at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. So I just took 1/8 off of the regular panel, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. That's a half a sheet of paper, half a sheet of cardstock. I mean, a fourth of a sheet of cardstock. And so I just wanted that little edge. Okay, now this is our designer paper panel, and I'm going to put the glue. I'm going to put the white onto the back of this because I want to be able to stabilize it so that I can wrap my ribbon around it. And when I wrap this ribbon around it, I'm going to attach it at the sides, but I'm also going to tie just a fake or faux bow on it. And when I do that, when I tie that, it's going to pull that ribbon a little bit. That's why I want the stability on this little layer. Like I said, this could be any color. We could have made it a little larger and left a border on there, but I did not. I just grabbed a piece of scrap white to put my, and I'm just going to put this on the side like this. And then I'm going to take my, this is the gold white 3/8 inch ribbon. That's all there it says about it. And I'm going to attach it, well, let me turn it around so I can see where I need to put it. I want it to go right across here. Like when you got a bouquet and someone put a ribbon around, you know, the bottom of the bouquet, and that's kind of what that resembles. So I'm going to put that about right there, and I'm going to attach this to the back. And then I'm going to keep straight and attach that, and then take my scissors and let's cut the excess off. Okay. And then we're going to put that on dimensionals. I'll put corner, corner, almost the center, corner, corner, and then one about here, just for, you know, so that when you mail, it doesn't sink down in the middle. Get these backing all off. And I did find my take your pick tool in between cleaning up for my last video. Okay, now we're going to put this in the middle of our panel. Don't press down. Like I can lay it here and I can still move it. Don't press down. Just adjust. Okay. Then I'm going to take a piece of my ribbon. And I'm going to tie it around. This is how you make a faux bow. We're just going to tie this. And I cut a little bit extra long because when you pull this, it seems like it wants to fray. So, okay, so now I'm going to trim my edges. Okay, and then all we have left to do is to put our greeting on, and I'm going to cut a dimensional in half, or I probably could use the end right here. And I'm going to put it here. I want it to kind of keep that ribbon like in place. See if I have it far enough over here. And then my hello is just going to sit right there. Okay, this card's done, except let's put a few little bling on it. Okay, let's take, I did use one in the center of this flower, but we don't have to do that. Let's see, let's put one here. And one here. And one down here. And there's our card. And like I said, I did not put my greeting on the inside because I don't know what I want to do yet. Don't know what I want to use the card for. Okay, that's card number 1. Remember, if you need the supply list, it's on the, it'll be on the project sheet. It'll be on the project sheet for part 1. And it has not been posted on the blog yet because, well, it's because I don't have it done yet. That one was kind of fraying, so get my ribbon pieces out of the way. Okay, that's card number 1. Now you could take your Wink of Stella and you could color the little white flowers if you wanted a little bit of, you know, more shimmer or whatever. So there we have the embossing folder embossed and the debossed side. Which one do you like better? I like this with a bigger bow. I could take that bow off and put another one on, but we'll keep moving for now. Okay, our next one is the Old Olive. And again, I have already, I've got my panel cut and my embossing folder embossed, and that is the stripes, the lovely stripes embossing folder. Now I will note, you know, if you, when this embosses, it's going to shrink up your paper a little bit. So you may want to cut it, like this doesn't matter how that this shrunk up a little bit. And in fact, we are using the embossing folder this time going sideways instead of up and down. And this one I used the deboss side because see the little dots are down. They're not sticking up. And this time we're going to use them sticking up. But it will, like, because this, you know, when it, oh gosh, how do you describe that? When the little layers here, they will, it'll make it shrink up because it's pushing so many of those up. And you have to be careful because it will tear. It will tear. I probably should have used the heavier paper, the thick, but nobody will notice it. Okay, now for this layer, we're going to take our scissors and we're going to rough up, and I'm not going to use those. These are my ribbon scissors. We're going to take our scissors and we're going to rough up the edges. Kind of for a little vintage look. And you can do as little or as much as you like. And I'm not going to do the bottom because the bottom is not going to show. Doesn't matter if it tears a little bit, that's fine. Okay. now we're gonna get the scraps off of my card, and we're gonna glue this on. And use a little, probably a little bit more glue than you normally would, just because that's embossed. I'm gonna leave about 1/4 of an inch border there. That needs to come over just a little bit there. And I like that little piece where it tore. Okay, now we're going to tape this or glue this one on, and I use the Tombow multi adhesive, the green glue. I just squeeze it into this little bottle that has the other edge, and I'm going to kind of pull this down. So this is just a little bit over. We could have added some ribbon, but I don't think I had any old olive. We probably maybe could have used this ribbon, but I just kind of wanted it to be simple. So okay, and then we're going to add just a note with the little label that I cut out of Fragrant Layers, I believe it was. And then this is just a note, and I'm going to stamp it with Secret Sea ink that I love. It's my new favorite. I like this better than Night of Navy. And let's see if I can get this in here without. A little bit high, but it's fine. Okay, and we are going to glue that on. Because we have so many layers in our embossing folder, I'm just going to glue this on. And we're going to go about right here. I want it to hang off of the side a little. And we're going to use the green, olive green, old olive. I always call it olive green. Dimensionals, which I haven't used very much on the green. Let's see, let's put one. And then let's take our Wink of Stella and color. That's not the right one. Take a piece of scrap paper and get that going. Okay, I'm going to just color in the flower for a little more shimmer. And don't douse it too much because it is paper. It's not cardstock. And if you get too much, it might, that's why I squeeze mine out onto a piece of scrap paper and then pick it up. Let's see, I got too much there. I'll have to see if I have a tissue over here. There, picked up the excess. Okay, so it just gives our flower just a little shimmer. We could take our old olive blending markers and tap them on the side of our bone folder and splatter if you like the splatter look. I do, but I'm not going to do it to this one since we have the shimmer and we have the distressing over here. And I do like this distressing better because it, like I said, I've got that little bitty tear over there. So that's our second card. And then our third card uses my, oh, we forgot to put the inside layer in, sorry. Let me stick that in there real quick. And this is just a note, and again, I don't know what I want to use this for, so I am not going to stamp a greeting on the inside. And you can make this inside as large or small as you want. This one is just cut to 4 and 5 by 5 and a quarter, just a 1/4 inch off of a regular 1/4 of an inch, 1/4 of a page piece of cardstock. Okay, now here's our pink one. We used the same die here, and we're going to layer this. I should have stamped that when I stamped the other one. There's our white for the inside. And then let's glue our, this is Petal Pink, and this is two-tone cardstock. Now on this one, I used the darker, and on this one, I think I'm going to use the lighter. It has 2 tones. So I do think that the two-toned doesn't match our cardstock exactly, but glue gives me a little bit of wiggle room. And I cut this to be used on the back side, the darker color. And you can see sometimes you get a little edge there from your trimmer. All you have to do is take your bone folder and just go across that edge, and it will smooth that cut edge down. I find I have that a lot when I use my, the Whisper White or Basic White on the inside. Okay, now let's glue this panel to our Secret C. See, I keep wanting to say Night of Navy, it's not. And this just has a small 1/8 of an inch border. Okay, now I'm going to use ribbon on this one, Secret C ribbon. And I'm going to put my tape down the side. Line it up on the front where I want it. About like that, I think. And then make sure I have it on the, okay, and then cut that. Okay. And then we're going to put a faux bow on this one also. And we're going to just glue this one down. We're not going to glue this one. So we're going to center this. And we could have embossed this layer. That would have given it another different look. I mean, you can, these are just so simple. Just cutting those strips off of that designer paper. I mean, and they make, quick, easy cards. I mean, I've got 8 cards here, and it really took me not very long. It was just getting, my card bases cut. And when I have all of it in front of me, I can see, oh, I need, you know, 2 whole sheets of 2 whole sheets of Secrecy, or, you know, this is a half of a sheet of Secrecy, and then I used just a scrap of another piece. Now let's stamp our flower on here and our hello. Grab my flower, and let's use the big flower this time. I have the little flower out, but I think I'll use the big one. So, which card is your favorite? And see, I kind of like, this is the two-tone, and this is the cardstock. This is our cardstock. This is our petal pink, but I was out of petal pink. I used all that I had on a bunch of swap cards that I have for on stage. So I got out my petal pink, and I think that the two-tone does not match, see, does not match our cardstock as well. But that's okay, it's close. And this has, I mean, several shades in it, so I think it's all good. And I like to put the big label, or the big petal at the bottom. Put a little pressure. It just stamps so pretty. I love that. And then we're going to stamp. I'm not putting the greeting on again because I don't know what I'm going to use the card for. So we'll just slip this on the inside. And you see how little glue that I use. That keeps me from having, you know, spaces where it's oozing. Now, if you do get a space where it oozes, they have these erasers called adhesive erasers, and they really do work pretty good. I got this, of all places, at the Dollar Tree. And you can use these to kind of pull the sticky part off. Okay, now let's stamp our hello. And then we're almost done with this part 2. I hope you will leave me a like and a thumbs up, or a thumbs up and a comment. Which card you like the best. $50 order will get you a set of either part 1, 2, or 3 cards. You'll have to use your own stamps though, as I cannot stamp images and include them in a kit. Okay, now I think I did put that on with dimensionals, yes. And I think we will try the mini ones. Or I could cut, you know, cut the bottom of the, and I think I'll put one on the side. And remember, we used the whole sheet of dimensionals. We don't just use the middle and throw the rest away. You can cut these pieces if you need a thin, a thin piece. If you need a larger piece, you can cut all those edges and use those. So don't throw those away just because you've used up the little circle ones. Oh, I think that needs another one down there. There. Okay. Now let's add a little bit of bling to our card. And we use the Secret C on this one. I think this is the hardest part of the card, trying to figure out where you want to put your little gems. And we usually use 3 or an odd number. All right, guys, which was your favorite card? The Petal Pink, the Old Olive, or the Crumb Cake? Leave in the comments which one you like the best. And just a reminder, any $50 order placed will get you a 3-card kit. Either, you know, this series or the part 1 or part 3. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.